late that were made for television or never made it in the movies. You see all these movies that you never actually saw on the silver screen. But they make so many movies, it's very difficult to get things started over here. You know, there's not a lot of money, and they have to go to Spain to shoot an outdoor scene where it's sunny, or they have to go here, there, and everywhere, whereas America has got all these different sets that are natural, you know, and they can use them. But,
over here, the traditional sources of income, investment, just have not ever considered motion pictures to be a legitimate business.
Yes.
So whereas
they haven't considered it in the States either, but they don't mind putting their money in illegitimate business.
Well, I would say, as they say, you know, the money comes from America, but so often the talent and the craft comes from here. Case in point, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which will probably win a couple of Academy Awards, made just down the road, basically, but it's an American film, American money.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't agree. I think that it's where it's made, not where the money comes from. Otherwise, you could say it's all Swiss, because most of it comes from Swiss bank accounts. I mean, where the film is made and the technicians that are used, I think that gives it the stamp, as you say. So I think Roger Rabbit is a British film in that sense. The money was probably Japanese anyway.
Great American actors. George C. Scott, you know. I mean, I think he's fabulous, you know.
Yeah, but you can't ignore the fact that we're talking about Gorillas in the Mist, The Accused, Dangerous Liaisons, The Arraignment, all solidly American productions.
Well, hang on, no. Dangerous Liaison is a British film, from a British source.
Well,
Director is British, Stephen Frears.
Fair point, but Americanized.
Americanized, as I said before, because they wanted the American audience to
But the world is becoming Americanized, isn't it? I mean, you can learn a lot from America, as America could learn a lot from us. They've used a lot of our actors and a lot of our techniques. A lot of the early filmmakers from way back, from Charlie Chaplin, you know, to the Cary Grants and all these people. They were all sort of, you know, they were all sort of English. They went over there, but then it was taken over. It's sort of like, it's that way the whole world over in many, many different areas, you know what I mean, in many different ways, you know. Take the South African situation, for instance, you know what I mean?
Please take the South African situation.
They make so many films in America. You know, it's unfair to really compare even. They make hundreds and hundreds, or we over here make just 2 or 3. It's like tennis players. No wonder they got so many good tennis players. They got 280 million people to choose from.
I tell you what, talking of film, it's interesting the history of what happened to the Monkees films. I mean, forget it as a film medium. You had some amazing people working with you on them, didn't you?
Yes, we did, yeah.
I mean, name some of the names.
Well, if you talk about the particular movie which died a miserable death and maybe
well, let's
deserved.
talk about that then.
There was no. Oh, sorry, but well,
let's mention that again. Yeah.
Let's not talk about the good things.
Oh, what's a good thing? It was a very good movie.
My favorite.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, but that was a movie. We're talking TV now.
Well, Jack Nicholson wrote the movie.
Wrote and produced, co-wrote and co-produced the Monkey movie.
With Bob Rafelson, who did 5 easy pieces and went on. Bob Rafelson and Bert Schneider produced the original show, written by Paul Mazursky and Larry Tucker.
So there you go, a whole lineup of names. Oh, actually, let's correct one thing. We introduced you right at the start, didn't we, as being late 60s and so on, but as Peter, you reminded us, those shows have been round and round, haven't they? In Britain.
We have, the funny thing is that we not only have fans who are very young, some of them are the children of the original fans, but you know, when we first started out, the parents of the fans looked askance at us. That's askance. And but now they've come around. They've come around, and we now have 3 and 4 generations of fans coming to the shows. We've had grandmas get up and dance with their grandchildren at our performances.
Some of our prenatal fans are even some of our really.
Shall we pause for a moment and have a little look at some
what
it is all about?
Good idea.
We really need reminding. The Monkees at their very best. The Monkees, the last train to Clarksville. Listen, whilst you're here,
a lot of calls this morning. You revived a whole host of memories, having said what we have about the circle of television programs. What was it like when it started to take off? None of you, I'm sure, thought it would go as big as it did.
I did.
You did?
Yeah. I had, because, well, I may have, you know, been fooling myself or not known exactly, but when I heard that it was about concerts and records and TV show, and that the producers were themselves Beatle fans and wanted to be part of the whole thing, I really had a picture. I remember telling a person between the parts, after we shot the pilot and before it went, I said, if it goes at all, it's going to be very big.
So you looked at the small print on the contract before you signed then? You had a...
No. Unfortunately.
We went to see a concert of the Rolling Stones at, I think, downtown in Los Angeles at the Shrine Auditorium, and we were all sitting there, and we were watching this band up there, and Jagger was jumping about, and the producer said, in about 6 months from now, that'll be you. And I remember Mickey saying, what do you mean? We'll be the Rolling Stones. I thought, who is this guy here? I thought, this is ridiculous.
I remember when I went for the interview, I thought, you know, I've been for 2 or 3 interviews for shows during that week for similar music pop shows. People were trying to do one like Peter, Paul and Mary, another like the Beach Boys, and this was like the Beatles kind of. And I thought, when I read the script, I said, "Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good idea." Because it had a
You
spirit
guys have
to
got to
it.
give yourself some credit because, of course, Don Kirshner, who launched you on record, also tried it again with a group called Tomorrow, and even though it had Olivia Newton-John in it, it didn't work.
You can't contrive it. There's no formula.
I particularly enjoyed, Don Kirshner got angry at us because we had tried to make the records on our own. We wanted to become, we had a Pinocchio complex. We wanted to be real live boys. But we decided to make our own records. Don Kirshner took offense and went and created the Archies, who, because they were plastic, could give him even less trouble than we had given him.
Mickey, you were always...
They sued him.
You were always fake. We're all going to watch what we say all the time, haven't we? You actually had a particular fondness for Britain, haven't it? I mean, you actually found a second spiritual home here.
Absolutely.
Anglophiliac.
I beg your pardon? Oh, that's right, sorry. Yes, that's true. I've been here about 10, 12 years now. I live in Nottinghamshire.
Was that where you guys got the biggest reception?
Where?
In
Nottinghamshire? No.
Britain.
We had a pretty big reception. We had a pretty big reception in Britain. I mean,
We played 5 concerts at Wembley. We were the first act ever to do that. Nobody came, but we played. We were going to stick through the week. That was all we were interested in. Yeah, it was the first time, and you see, all the people came from around about Sheffield, Manchester, Liverpool, wherever, to these 5 concerts. But as the song says, you know, we found that we've become a local band in America. It's a big place, and we go to all these theaters. One night we were playing 100,000 people in a ballpark. The next night we're in a 2,800-seater Presidium Stage Theater. And this is how our act changed from week to week, from day to day, from Vegas to Reno to a small theater in Bloomingdale, Iowa or someplace. It was incredible kind of response we got, but it's always been theater what we do.
we did when we were here, we were singing at the Royal Kensington, the Gardens, and there was 300 or 400 kids out there all day long, and I remember, and all night long. That's right. And we got a royal note from Kensington Palace, and Princess Margaret was living there at the time, I guess.
Shut up the
Oh,
noise,
she lives just round the corner, doesn't
Yeah,
they? They live just
shut up the noise. Could you please keep your fans quiet, please? The
Well, it wasn't
royal,
quite like
one
that.
cannot sleep. There's only one living there? Only one person in that whole palace?
Bit of crowd control needed because we're going to take a quick break. We'll chat again after the break. Ah, well, can we go? Can we,
We still going?
I was still going. This is live television. So we're not now taking a break.
We'll say goodbye
Yeah.
to this side of the break then. Hey, listen, every good wish. Terrific to have you back together.
thank
3
you
of
very
the 4. We established where the 4th member was a little
Where have
earlier.
you been all our lives?
Playing
Oh,
Wembley.
out and about, touring, making records.
Tell you what, we've got to say goodbye. You're starting off in Harrogate, March the 17th. Liverpool, Edinburgh, Aberdeen, Newcastle, Gloucester, Newport, London, Oxford, Brighton, all over the place, ending on April the 17th in Glasgow.
Yep.
Royal Albert Hall as well, 2 shows. Busy schedule, fellas.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Great to have you with us this morning. Really has been. And thanks to Gambo as well.